steps ahead or watch time fly. It's chestnut checkers, every move's a test. Strategy and patience bring out your best. No quick flips, no easy wins. The game is deep, let the match begin. Kings and castles, they don't play fair. Nice sleep through problems like they don't care. The bishop cuts sharp through the mess you make. One wrong move and it's checkmate. So sit down, plan it, don't let it wreck ya. Welcome to the game, this ain't checkers, it's chestnut checkers. Sharpen your mind.
Forgive me, y'all. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday, everybody, y'all. Tonight's episode is brought to you by. So yeah, as y'all can see, we're in the spirits this evening.
Y'all, we are chestnut checkers. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
We got a show for y'all. We have a show for y'all, and it's interesting. That's what it is. That is chestnut checkers. We are chestnut checkers, y'all. I am your co-host, William Alexander, the Fixer, Scarf Boy. I have my scarf over there. I meant to go grab it in festive theme. I'm gonna forget to do something. I have my co-host Kristen Rare Sense Wilson in the building, y'all. We have Lovey that is soon to join us. If you want to join, make sure you guys send us a message. Just say, I want to join, but act like you got some sense. We got to know that you can speak. We're going to be able to ask that you came up. Let us know who you are. If you do weird stuff. But anyway, it is Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve. We are out here, y'all. We have a special show for y'all.
Okay, I'm trying to get it together. Hold up, y'all. He started it.
Fair. We're going to be getting into a very taboo topic amongst Black community. Yet we often say we use it when it's like convenient. You know what I mean? Like it's like a razor. Like, oh. Let me slice you with this as my last resort or my first ditch of desperation.
Look,
we gonna talk about it. We're not gonna bring it up yet, but we're gonna talk about it. In other news, we got to get to something real quick. Who are you gonna talk about first?
Oh, we gonna do current events. Okay, cool. So first of all, Merry Christmas Eve.
She's gonna be a theme. I can't wait. Go ahead.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Happy holidays and happy enslavement of the Moors.
He's starting early, y'all. Okay, so we're going through these current events real quick. 2 people injured up in Baltimore.
Prayers.
Well, here's the thing. What happened was ICE went to go serve them a warrant. They happened to roll up on ICE in a pedophile van, seeing what was happening, tried to run ICE down in the pedophile van and got shot.
Damn. Well,
right. One of them is in critical condition and the other one is cool. But I don't know how much, they're from Portugal, just to make sure that the president understands that it was Europeans that did this.
Black people, I hope, because I haven't seen any Black women as ICE agents. I have seen my share of melanated men. I pray, melanated men, that you aren't going home to melanated women after you just did a full 9 to 5, hunting motherfuckers down. I hope that consider. That's all.
And I mean, I understand everybody got a job to do. Everybody does their job to take care. But you get what you get.
I'm not hunting niggas for any type of job. Like, no.
We talking about that shooting with the ICE agents up in Baltimore.
Oh,
Two folks
that's wild work.
If anybody that has a problem with my use of the word pedophile van, any nondescript white van with darkened windows is a pedophile van, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
You could just be getting back and forth to work, but I'm gonna be
Those
on.
are the exact descriptions of what we're expecting a pedophile to be for real. Dark tinted windows,
In a
weird
white.
man, glassy eyes. I mean, what are we looking for? Is that's not the description?
It is. So they fit the
Oh,
description. And it's not me being racist against white vans. Let's get that out there.
right.
They
This is
just
not
fit.
about racism. This is just practicality.
You have
Look,
racist against white vans.
I
This
want
is
to thank
crazy
my
work.
coworker Amari for the dope ass mug. I
Fuck
don't know
around and
why.
find out.
Every
Ho,
time,
ho, ho.
every
Ho
time
ho ho!
I wind up in a new circle, I become the fuck around and find out person. I don't understand how that happens, but it just seems to be that way. So thank you, boo. I got wonderful presents from my secret Santa at work.
Satin. Right.
Satan, secret Satan.
Fabric.
Um, let's see what other things was in the news. Oh, okay. So y'all remember how elated we was when that man threw his hat up in the air like the bat signal and caused a riot on that dock in Alabama a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Mm-hmm.
the signal.
That moment where Jake Paul's jaw was about 3 inches away from his face.
Listen, can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? For those of y'all that really believe that that Mr. Paul, he had a contract to where Anthony Joshua was not supposed to really hit him, you have lost your ever loving mind.
Untrue.
Like,
Jake Paul
this
is suing that nigga.
No, he's not. No, he's not. So here's who he's suing. Jake Paul is suing those people that are saying that it was a fake fight. That's what people are missing. Like, Jake Paul, there's a lawsuit, but Jake Paul is saying, hey, I put this out here to show y'all this is real. I don't play these games. Now, was Tyson? I would never want to fight an old man, even if it was Tyson, because even if he were to get me with a nasty left hook, his heart could fail. Like, I'm not.
Tyson came out and said that, in fact, he followed the script to get his check.
Absolutely. I would too, as a 65-year-old man. Anthony Joshua is not from our entertainment industry. He's not from here. Correct. He's a killer. Like, correct. Anthony Joshua's a killer.
Correct.
And he's not going to sign no entertainment contract. That's just not him.
So for those of you who did not watch the fight on Netflix last Friday, it was I believe it was supposed to be 10 rounds.
8 rounds.
8 rounds, okay. And it was Anthony Joshua. God,
Anthony Joshua.
Mm-hmm. Can't talk today, Lord. Okay. It was Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Joshua beat the ever-loving brakes off this dude.
Anybody who says that, we give Jake Paul props for lasting at that, that's literally like somebody like stalking their food before they eat it. They're just watching it just for entertainment.
For fun, for kicks.
It's fun. Like, there's blood in the water. I want to play with my food before I eat it.
I love a good game.
Like that, it's a predatory thing, and he literally warned him. He's like, I'm not one of these entertainment people. I kill people for fun.
Exactly.
He literally said in a Great Britain way, if he dies, he dies.
Yep. Guess who's talking shit now, though?
Who?
Logan Paul's stupid ass.
Don't you do that?
Because Logan Paul is threatening to avenge his brother.
No,
and
sir.
Logan Paul is a WWE star. So
let me tell you something, brother.
Stay over there, bro.
Mm-mm. You ain't never been hit by a professional boxer, brother. Like,
what?
Boo, you know how I am. Don't do too much on my wrestling. Don't do too much. You know how I am.
No, sir. Sir. Logan, let your brother heal. Don't be in the same in the bed next to him in the same room. So, Mr. Paul, I wish you the best in your speedy recovery. You made a lot of money that day.
He did make a lot of money. He also ruined his boxing career, from what I'm being told. Like,
he can never fight again.
His jaw's been broken in 2 places. Like if you see him right now, he looks crazy.
Yeah, you would have rather had that shit unhinged than have that shit break. He got hit by a professional brickmaker.
Yeah, he got a brick thrown at his face for sure.
Yeah. Nikki, can we talk about her real quick? Nikki, bring your ass here.
No, because we're not gonna do too much on my Sagittarius sister. But go ahead.
No, I absolutely will. Somebody has to.
Why?
Whitney, or I said Whitney. Jesus,
Yeah.
Nikki.
Wait a minute,
Nikki.
Who the fuck is
you? What I am because she's been sounding off, unhinged, and she thinks she had the credibility that a Whitney Houston would have, and she acting a fool. Nikki, leave Cardi alone. Cardi, leave Nikki alone. Nikki, I'm glad you turned your phone off. But we're going to talk about some stuff that I wish you had your phone on about. Because I think you got the same type of situation I got. Less the fact that you do cocaine, a lot of it.
That's never been proven. See, this is what I be talking about. Not too much. As one of the Barbs, right? That's never been proven. Nobody's ever seen her do cocaine.
She's never denied it.
Yes, she has openly several times. Now, whatever
with
she
a
does,
blunt in her hand, really.
And I'll deny it with a blunt with mine. I don't do cocaine.
She said,
I do not do cocaine.
She said,
I do not do coke.
I don't smoke. I don't drink.
So, Cardi B says she don't cook, she don't clean, and that's why you got several baby daddies in a divorce. But so Nicki Minaj has been in the line of fire for the last week or so because she has decided to take a job opportunity with the Republican presidency. She is the ambassador to some shit or another.
Endorse MAGA.
She's been endorsing MAGA for years. She's had in all of her songs that says she's a Republican and that she hates poor people. I don't
openly like come on.
This is where I'm getting.
This is not new. What's the problem?
Y'all love her.
I don't even support her really like that. So,
and see, this is the problem. People say a lot of stuff, but they don't necessarily know the outcome. If and in fact, as a person with a pedophile husband and brother,
that's why I work. You
could get pardons for both of them by doing what you do and when you do what you did.
That's right.
Not a conspiracy.
Look, do what you do when you did what you did to me. I get it.
I just work here.
It's just us chickens for real. Like, I get it.
Ain't nobody here for us chickens.
If and in fact you want to align yourself with the people who look like villains because you always feel like a villain, then people get mad because you align yourself. Now you in the villain Justice League because people have made you the villain so much that you just go ahead and get with the rest of the villains. I'm not mad at that. Get with the villains, bitch. But
Nikki, come have a seat on this chair is what we asking you.
Yeah, your team should really be helping you to navigate this a little better. I think that deleting the Instagram was the team finally saying, yeah, you can't say shit like I don't want what little black girls go through to happen to little white girls.
Man, you one of them other ones that need somebody with you at all times. Like all times.
I guess present. In a little bit we'll see a handler, won't we?
Be present.
A little silence, a little handler.
Listen.
Think that
Ooh. And it's not, and nobody's saying that you need somebody to speak for you. But
say that.
Somebody got to tap that little wrist when you decide to get. While we're talking about the pedophilia of it all, can we discuss this, please? Who? SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Love it.
Who put his driver's license and address on his ID?
SpongeBob
SquarePants.
And who found out that place is real?
Oh snap!
This bitch. So I found that. Okay, so y'all know how y'all find shit on TikTok, but then you go back to look for it and it's gone.
Word.
A lot of the time, that's how I be knowing shit is real. right? Because they get it.
Yeah, because they get it and then delete it.
Right. So a young man on TikTok who sadly I cannot give him his props as a creator because they took down his video,
Ooh.
decided to go ahead and take SpongeBob's address off his driver's license and plug it into Google Maps. On Google Maps, SpongeBob's address pops up as Little St. James Island.
Shit!
Oh no.
Shit! Not everybody
Time
knows
for
what
a
Little
trip.
St. James Island is.
Oh, they don't know what Little
They
St. James.
don't know what Little St. James Island is.
They don't know what that is.
Because
Wow.
I learned that a good population of our black community are in fact autistic. But
Mm.
Oh.
with that said,
Little St. James
why?
Island.
Go ahead.
Little St. James Island.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in the news a lot over the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
It has celebrities running from America to places with non-extradition practices.
Mm-hmm.
It's more well known as Epstein's Island.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob's address pulls up on Google Maps in the United States of America as fucking Epstein's Island, which means that SpongeBob lives at the bottom of the sea underneath Epstein's
Island.
So before the pirate does what William did when we first started this conversation, he asked the children,
"Are you ready, kids?"
Aye, aye, Captain.
Aye, aye.
Are those the children on the island? The same creator that made the connection based on the documentary, what was it, Quiet on Set, that came out earlier this year about the weird stuff.
Good old Nickelodeon.
Sheesh.
That orange splat that we all knew and loved as children, the slime splat, is shaped exactly like Little St. James Island.
Sure is. If y'all don't believe us, look this up in your own.
Right.
And
we don't be bullshitting. Like,
just go ahead and type that into Google, ChatGPT, whatever thing that you use. It's going to pull up the same information. Go ahead and fact check us.
Please and thank you.
While you're here, like, share, subscribe, and follow. This is Chestnut Checkers.
And it's Wednesday, and we love you. And it is also Christmas Eve.
Before we get into it, we got a couple more minutes. Can I give a big shout out to Selena Johnson?
Selena Johnson.
Do y'all know who Selena Johnson?
The artist?
The artist, yeah. Selena Johnson.
Yes, you should give her a shout out. Yes.
Little known fact about Selena Johnson. I don't know if you guys know Chad Ochocinco.
I do.
But if you put a little bit of hair on Chad Ochocinco,
and
you put a little eyebrow on Chad Ochocinco,
I'm out the camera.
Chad Ochocinco looks just like Selena Johnson.
Good night.
In fact, so much so that they're siblings.
No.
Nobody knows this. Oh my gosh. Chad Johnson and Selena Johnson are siblings.
I'm floored.
Yeah, y'all thought I was being mean. Oh,
first of all,
Selena is drop dead. I'm talking about don't let the lights go out.
When Evelyn Lozada said,
turn the lights down.
Hold up though. When Evelyn Lozada said that after she went public with the abuse from Ochocinco, that she had to fight his sister, that was Selena Johnson.
That was Selena.
Oh, when it all, Selena Johnson.
When it all comes down. That's
when
her.
It fall down, you got that. Okay.
Yeah, that's her. Selena right. Don't play.
Good for you, bitch.
Listen, don't. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
A little bit of a little fact. So with that said, Selena Johnson decides to say, and rightfully, she's not wrong. Whether I agree or I don't agree, she's not wrong. She says, to take R. Kelly, his music, out of our culture, you have to now take Harvey Weinstein, all of his movies, which one of his movies, which he was a co-producer on, is one of my favorite movies, Django Unchained. And then you'd have to say, let's wipe out Bill Cosby too. That's what she says. She's not wrong. She's not
Wipe out
wrong.
Seventh Heaven while you're at it.
I believe
Seventh Heaven.
that
No. Seventh Heaven stays. Sorry, she triggered me. I'm good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Triggered or not, facts are facts.
I believe that there was a time and a climate to where it was appropriate to say I hurt. Something hurts and it's been hurting. And we're this is a I'm so glad that something hurts and I've been hurting, and I just had to give myself a little bit of grace. And when something hurts and I've been hurting, there was a time when we were like, okay, the Me Too movement came out. We saw this big black man get violated by a little bald-headed white man. Jewish man, excuse me. I don't want to offend the wrong culture.
What about, you know what? We'll get into it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let that simmer for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
okay.
not.
All right.
I was gonna go there, but
because there might be music, AI music might interject right there. But with that, with that said, we saw what we before we started, judging Terry Crews for who he was and what we proclaim him to be. What we did know, and we knew that he was that diesel ass dude on training day. He was that diesel ass dude on Friday. He was that diesel ass dude on what's that movie, Longest Yard? What other movies? White Chicks. He always played like a peculiar character, but he was always that strong ass motherfucking dude. But to see that strong ass motherfucking dude get violated
all the way back. Now fuck him, because he was the gay bartender in Lil Flip video. We knew.
And and all that being known, the image is what I'm saying. The image. So we have this image of this guy which says, okay, what we see as an image should be protecting us has been violated by this Illuminati system, right?
Right.
So now is the time for us to scream ouch too. And there was a time that it was okay to say ouch. And I'm not saying that that time has passed, but what I am saying is more of a question. Does everybody deserve to have everything removed from their life and erased from the expenditures of history based on past atrocities?
Well, no. First of all,
do you deserve to be erased from history for that?
Well, see, here's what pisses me off, I guess. Y'all trying to erase R. Kelly, but y'all still trying to force these children to believe in Santa Claus. I've taught my children from day one. My oldest is 23 years old. But if y'all see a white man in a red suit in our house at any time, at any night of any day of the year, shoot that nigga.
Shoot him. Yes.
So it makes sense to me, the idea that they would try to delete something so bad because they believe in something that they deem so harmless, when one is way more harmful than the other. That's just me, though.
I yield.
No,
I feel like if people would hear the actual history and take Santa back to Saint Nick and, the actual person who was in representation there. You talking about Barry?
I will say it's super difficult. It's challenging for me to see, I guess, in the age that I'm at, even pastors, like when you're talking about like, okay, they're speaking about Christ, they're speaking about religion, and you see a big ass Christmas tree behind them. It's a nuisance to me. It's definitely something that affects me in the capacity.
The difference between it now and then, bro, is that we used to go to midnight mass because we had to, but they was teaching us something. Whereas 2/3 of the black community right now is getting dressed to go to midnight mass just to go.
Which goes to my point.
Right.
At some point we're in 2025, and there's a resource of information that we are able to grab hold of, and not to say that everything is all fact, all truth, all knowing, but there's something called site referencing and like cross referencing and things of that nature that we were taught in school.
Yeah.
Going to the library with our library card and being able to cite and source and cross reference like we're supposed to. But at the end of the day, if you're still in 2025 waiting for a man in a red suit and are teaching your children the notion that this man in a red suit is the one that's uh getting the fruit of all of your labor based on a triad of maniacal people that were encompassed behind a labeled brand called Coca-Cola.
Man, y'all worshiping Coca-Cola. I'm so glad you said it, bro. I've been waiting. I've been holding it.
It's crazy. So we're close enough to the hour. Let's get into it. Coke, come to the table. You're the reason why most of this exists in the first place. When y'all decided to introduce a flavored beverage that had poppy and cocaine in it and caffeine in it, and gave it to people as a beverage, and then generations later they had us. Fuck you think we supposed to be normal?
How?
Let's highlight this. We're talking about autism, y'all. We're going to talk about it. Autism in the black community.
Can I just say something to
Go
what
ahead.
you said? Because tonight's this is the title tonight. The fake and the real of God. We celebrating this fake holiday today and tomorrow, right? I can't even say take that man's name. Take that title out the goddamn holiday. Because y'all are celebrating Cokemas. Because y'all gotta be high as fuck to think that I'm gonna go into debt right before the fucking first quarter of the year. But y'all won't teach us business. We gotta pay y'all out the ass to find that out. Right? This holiday is based on something so wicked and something so against your moral values you don't even know. And yet you still force your children to believe and then wonder why they hate you for lying.
And one of the things that for me, I I've really tried to get past the idea that my parents weren't completely honest about certain things, and but what I am thankful for is the fact that we went on a journey of different various religions, and I'm like, don't none of this shit make sense. So clearly y'all confused too. But what I can say is that I'm thankful for the opportunity to discover on my own, and they didn't stop me from doing that. When I found out very early that Santa Claus is just a depiction and a caricature of somebody else's expense and hard labor, I realized that very early in age. However, that doesn't necessarily, for me, take away from the meaning that it brings beyond the idea of death.
Dun, dun, dun. Y'all wasn't ready.
I,
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sorry.
Y'all
Because
wasn't
most of the black families, they usually commune when somebody dies.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'd
Funerals
rather
and weddings.
be reminded during times like this that say, hey, check in. If nothing else, check in.
And see, I am of that mind state. Like, I do understand the world that I live in. So I'm not out here to disregard anyone's feelings about this shit. I've literally gotten into fist fights because my children will tell other people's children that Santa's not real at an early age because I'm now ruining their children's innocence. And I'm like, their innocence is based in a lie. So that's going to be a hard ass fucking fall. And I will fight you over it, family member or no, because I'm not going to lie to my kids. How did Santa Claus get in y'all house, bro? Because they told me he sprinkled some shit and got small and came through the mail slot because we lived in the projects.
I don't know. I just remember that one day that I was a kid. I stayed up all night.
Yep.
I stayed up all night, and it was just like, okay, I went to the bathroom, and it was a long story. I got locked in the bathroom so that they put the gifts under the Christmas tree. Stubborn.
Oh, wow.
Very stubborn. Listen. They said, "Oh, that was Santa Claus and the elves." But no, it wasn't. I heard your voice. Like I heard you. Like this is clear. It was you.
I feel like it was very clear that it definitely was no Santa. My parents would lock their door at a certain point on Christmas Eve, and my mom would be on her way in the room with the Christmas paper. And my father would be like, "Don't you lie to these kids. Ain't no Santa coming down no chimney. We even have a chimney."
Right.
I
love him for that. Look, I love him for that.
All it took was a grouchy ass parent, didn't it? Like one that just got off work talking about, I don't feel like doing this, blah, 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 blah. And it take that one kid that just be like, hey man, y'all anybody else hear that?
Because I could have sworn he
listen. Here was my perception, right? And this is me as a kid trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure out how some white dude dressed in red and white snuck in the house wherein my father was who he was. If you made so much as a snap, crackle, pop anywhere in the house, not only did he know where you were, but you better not be in the wrong place because he was armed and he was going to get fucked up. So I was trying to figure out how this nigga was going to sneak up in the house and do something because that's not possible. Right. Okay? This is not that. It's impossible.
How did you get past? I didn't pee the bed for many years because this dog wouldn't let me out the bed. How did you get past that goddamn dog?
See?
I mean, we got two red Doberman pictures. How is this happening? Nobody's back about nothing.
A cold toe in that hallway floor. I'm getting mangled. Like, how did you get past that dog? Like, fuck the fact that you are real or not. I need to know your clue bomb because that dog has put a lot of trauma on my life.
And I don't care what nobody said. Adults back in the 80s and 90s did not sleep.
No, y'all didn't.
Listen, there was no sleep. What are we talking about? Look.
When did they sleep? Like,
when did they sleep? Look, listen. I was 7 years old when somebody decided they was going to come and attempt to break in the house. Good for them. I mean, I guess try it. Before the door cracked too good, right? Because it sounded like all this weird noise. Something was playing, and I didn't know what it was. I hear my father, boom, 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 right? So I come out, open the door. I'm looking at him. He's sitting on the top of the stairs, pointing a 12 gauge down the steps, right? That door creaks open, and it makes a whole lot of noise. Okay, you can't even open that door without making a noise. I don't know what dude was thinking. My father said to him, you take one step across that threshold, I'm going to blow your intestines across that street. So either back out and close that door or say goodbye now. I was getting past him. How did Santa get in there? There's no way. There's no Santa, buddy. I'm sorry. He couldn't possibly got in there.
So I'm down. Generations of a lie was passed down, right? Generations of an advertisement even, because it wasn't even really a lie. It was a Coca-Cola advertisement.
It was a whole ad.
It was passed down to our generations, right? And we had computers, so we knew a little better than they did what looked real and what didn't. And yet we believed it.
Who?
We all believed it up to a certain age. Don't be like you was like you was.
Honest engine. I was kindergarten. I snatched the beer off of Santa Claus right ready in kindergarten.
Hilarious. You was a horrible child. What is wrong with you?
What? See, this is shit I be talking about. I understand low key. Like, okay, hold on, brother. You hold on, goddamn.
Wait a minute. Horrible.
This is the shit that I didn't struggle with all my life. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna get right into it. This is why I was always the one that was just like, somebody got to figure this shit out. I
Right. Right.
I found out very early. I didn't know, and I'm going to be very transparent. This is for the world as
Mm.
an understanding, because it took a process of grief to really let go of the idea of who I was
Yeah.
and embrace who I am. Um,
Good.
2017. Well before then, I knew that I just thought different. Like I just thought different. Like I could make literally something musical out of anything, right? I was just like, my parents yelled too loud, I could make a song about it just to get my mind off of it, right? Um, if things were disorienting, that's why often when you see me like get like shit, I'll just start singing something like random, like oh shit,
Mhm.
I knew something
And
was kind of different. What'd you say?
I say, and you do.
Right. I knew something was a little different. Um, a long time. I would see my brother and sister. They would, they had their dynamic. I think it's a conversation for private.
Mm,
Um, but
Oh,
I decided to say, hey, I'm not really responding to things like what's up here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I know I'm upset, but I don't want to be like I'm lashing out. Like, and it's not computing as this being mad. I'm letting it all out, and
Mm,
I don't know how to dial it back in. At
yeah.
this point, I'm like, shit, and it's getting worse. Like, so I went to the doctors, and the doctor they said, okay, have you ever thought about suicide? And I'm like, well, again, this is something that I didn't know was a neural processing thing. You ask me a logical question, I'm going to answer you logically. Had to
Mm,
be taught this. Ready? I say, well, yeah, who hasn't? Next
then-
thing I know, these big ass men come
then-
in, and I'm like, whoa, wait. I'm not saying I'm going to kill myself. I just was like, okay, if this is the far left, then where do I stand in it? I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, chill. Wait, I'm good. I'm just, I'm not okay right now. This ain't helping. And y'all trying to tell me that I'm worse off than what I am is making me like real uncomfortable right now. So finally ran into a familiar type of me, melanated person, um, married, and had a son who was autistic. Now, by this time, I'd gone into the doctors. I had already known that my youngest son was on the spectrum, and some of the things that he was facing, I could see clearly what he was seeing and comprehending. I'm like, well, shit, it makes sense to me. So, but I knew that he had some difficulties and some setbacks. So I'm asking the doctor. The doctor says, hey, do you have problem, some issues over here? Like where like you got to really sit back and take a lot of time to process like somebody's logic, or you need more time than normal. I say, well, yeah. He was like, let me ask you this. Were you diagnosed with dyslexia? I said, well, shit, yeah, I've been. He's like, my friend, you're definitely on the spectrum. And either I'm guaranteeing you have like a smidgen of ADHD. If I give you this little testing thing, and I'm like, well, let's go for it. And lo and behold, not only that did I have bipolar disorder type 2, was I on the spectrum for around Asperger's at the time before they canceled that out. But I also had ADHD and PTSD, and it was like a whole big ass meaty sandwich that I was alone to bite into
mm,
and
mm.
face this new reality of like, okay, where I thought I was different, I am really different, and I don't know who in the world is like me. Like, and it scared the shit out of me.
right.
And by that time it wasn't common for people to say, oh, I'm an adult and I have autism,
Mhm.
or I'm an adult and I'm on the spectrum, or things like that. people would just be angry. You know, you have a lot of black men who are just angry in society.
Right.
Why? Because they're not properly given what might be going on so that it could help them redirect where they need to go. When I found out, I would say after my mother passed away, when I found out, okay, I'm not processing things the way I should be processing them, was when I really began to get help and understand emotional content, emotional value, articulating how you feel, and the importance of saying I'm not okay.
Right.
Because that's something that'll trigger anybody more than a cuss word.
Well, see, the I think the problem in society at this point, and excuse me, y'all, because I can barely see. Those was the MC Gustos. For y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, y'all, like the reality of what William's saying is real. And it is a kind of pivot that we all have had to make if we were born in the 70s and 80s or before, because
Mhm.
mental health wasn't deemed a thing. And when we say
Right.
that, people often look at us like that's not possible. But it just wasn't deemed. You're gonna get your ass up and you're gonna do what I told you to do.
Right.
Right.
And unless
Super
you
ritualistic.
facts and unless you
Exactly.
were physically unable, you did not have a disability in the
Hmm.
black community until maybe 2015. Like we
Hmm.
talk about recent, y'all. This is not some old timey back with Martin Luther King, how y'all think about it. Because to me, that's not old timey either, but y'all gonna call me old. So
Oh,
I'm dying. Uh,
autism in our community is such a widespread thing. You mentioned several different diagnoses,
mm,
all encompassed under the spectrum, including PTSD.
mm,
right.
And we just don't address it. There are a couple of things that we're going to address tonight in this subject, but can we first, before we get into the videos, I want to talk about my search for video content this week. And I'm actually emotional at this point because I'm very upset that this is what it is. I wanted to bring y'all one video about children, one video about women, and one video about men. Immediately, I found a great video explaining vaccinations and autism. Immediately, I found a video with content about how autism is looked at on Black women. I could not find one fucking video about like explaining how autism shows up in Black men.
the reality of it is that through my experience, it shows up in two ways. It shows up in the grave, um, and it shows up when a person is no longer deemed um comprehensible, where they've gone so far out of even the realm of the disastrous norm to where they're bastardized from society. So nobody gets to hear them cry, so they just shut the fuck up. And again, you'll find that person in the grave.
One of the things that I see a lot and have seen over the years in the Black community is I won't even call it a misdiagnosis because people won't go and get a diagnosis. But the moment that there's something different about the child, they're slow. They're,
Hmm.
oh, there's just something wrong with him. Just take him a minute. You just gotta, give her another moment or whatever. We're not gonna go and try to delve any deeper. And on the other side of the pride shelf, where it's, oh, there's nothing wrong with my child. They just need a little longer. I just gotta tell them more than once, and all of these other things. But here's the truth of the matter: as a mother who has raised a child with autism and had to learn it, had to hear it, had to deal with that impressive 3 week turn of the evaluation process, had to listen to 9 different specialists as they interviewed and dealt with and interacted with my child to give me a 37-page diagnosis as to how they came to their conclusion. let me just put it in perspective. It is not what you think. And deciding
No.
that you're not going to delve any deeper is ridiculous. It is doing not just you a disservice, but your child. This
Mm-hmm.
autism affects so many things: social interaction, communication.
Mm-hmm.
It affects behavior. It deals with an incredible amount of social skills, repetitive actions, and even their unique ability to learn and their sensory differences.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When people meet my son, they're always like, oh, he's an asshole because he's just so blunt. He's so honest. There's no pulling punches.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very much in your face. Whatever it is, it is. And whether you like it, you don't, it's bam, boom, kabam. You better go ahead and eat that because he doesn't, his ability to try to lie, it doesn't work for him anyway. He's not good at it. He's much better at, this is what it is. You don't like it? Oh, well, okay, goodbye. That's it. It is not that he doesn't have emotion. He has plenty of emotion. You know how I can tell? Because if he gets real, real, real angry, anything can happen. He might knock somebody out, could be a hole in the wall. I don't know. I don't even know. But then there's all the other things that are slight differences. Most times when people are talking to him, they can't even really pick it up until they have had more than 5 minutes of a conversation with him because you can't see it all the time. And because the spectrum is so wide, right? We used to call it like gray area in between, moderate functioning, high functioning, low
Mm-hmm.
functioning, whatever. It's so vast to the
Mm-hmm.
point where, some things before it was labeled as idiot savant, where you didn't know they were kind of slow but super smart in these two areas. We'll call those science
On
and
some Forrest
mathematics.
Gump type shit. Like,
Yeah.
Right. We'll
Yeah.
call that Mozart. We'll call that
yeah.
Beethoven. We'll
Right.
call that all kinds of
I
brilliant people who Einstein is another that
Mm-hmm.
part. Brilliant minds. Doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I knew from the moment that I gave birth to him and he went to go cry, he didn't cry. He just was looking around. And I was like, nope, absolutely not.
I
I'm
was
talking, his
thinking.
eyes are not moving. He was very different, just not,
Mm-hmm.
no, nothing, just
mm.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, something's off about that. No, he seems fine. All his scores are perfect. I don't care what you're talking about. It doesn't track. Absolutely not. This isn't my first rodeo. That
My
isn't the
first
response
rodeo.
that is supposed to happen. And then 4 years in, I'm, having an argument with his father back and forth. There's nothing wrong with my son. There's something wrong with every single one of y'all. For facts. Like, I don't know what's going
Right.
on. You, your mama, your daddy, everybody on your side of the family got a little bit of a problem. And you know what? We're going to investigate this. I don't want to investigate it. There's nothing wrong with my son. There's something wrong with you. You just don't know how to mother him. I don't know how to mother him.
That other part. And
I've
there's
raised
the
a
other
Rhodes
part.
Scholar with a robotics full scholarship. Are you kidding me? Yes, I'm on top of it. The response is different. He wasn't
Mhm.
talking. And then after that 3 week time where, dad had decided he was going to do what he was going to do, I want an evaluation because you're going to tell me. We're going to figure this out. We're going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to talk to all the specialists, speech pathologists, a psychiatrist, a psychologist. And yes, those two things are different for everybody who doesn't know. All of that, language, neuroscience, we're going to get to the bottom of it. After all those 9 people sat and gave me my 37 page, I was like, damn, you know what? You're right. Yeah, yeah, well,
Oof, honey. And see, it's weird because I always say this. This is why we're sisters in coin, right? Every time it's a story, it's the opposite. Because with
in
Naomi,
reverse.
we didn't find out that she was autistic until she was 19 years old. And I was so deeply versed in the lore of we not crazy as Black people. You're just gonna do what I told you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Recognize the signs in my own child until I read the diagnosis and was like, damn, yeah,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
time. Yep, this is exactly what's
Like
going on.
when I
Mm-hmm.
had Mocha, I was young, right? But her ability to pick things up was so quick. Like she was walking before she was one, tying her shoelace before she got to two, potty trained, all that.
Yep.
And he would not talk. I mean, like not even a bleep. Like I'm working on teaching her two different languages, and he's and would
Mm.
not say a word. He didn't actually utter actual words till he was about five. And that's right around also when potty training actually became a thing. This is my daughter got up and looked at me go to the bathroom and was like, "Oh, so that's how you do it?" And
Mm-hmm.
took off her pamper and she peed too. I was like, "Bro, it's choices. Oh, what?
Look, like,
Choices. What's happening? Something's not right here. This
Right.
is no, I don't think so. Absolutely not.
and before
Something's not right."
all dummies start coming on here talking about, well, girls develop Esther and they're more mature. Stop
Mm-mm.
being a pedophile.
Mm-mm.
We gonna
Mm-mm.
Right, don't be a pedophile.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
don't be a pedophile.
whoa,
That is the
the
Mm-mm.
brakes.
way. That's little boy. Developmental milestones don't have a gender, and I'm tired of
They
that
They
shit.
damn
don't.
sure don't.
I don't
Your
care
your
which.
motherfucking left from your right is not gender specific.
Right. I don't care which of what is it, 47 genders there are now.
One, two,
There's
look,
one,
look, look.
two,
1, 2, motherfucking 3,
one,
4,
two, three.
5 is not a gender.
Right.
I
Okay.
don't care which gender you think you are. This shit,
Whatever it is.
This is called learned behavior.
this is
Right.
no. But this is blind to that. So whatever gender you think you are, these symptoms, these delays and milestones that they set forth for children are real. Your child is supposed to be doing a certain thing by a certain time. My son didn't speak till he was 3. I have twins now where one is so emotionally attached to everything, and the other one will
Don't
hit
give
me
a fuck.
in the face with a chair with no problem. And
The empath and the celebrity. It's fine. Y'all see you after a while. Right
I
about
love me
that.
some Cameron.
oh my God.
Come here,
The
Cameron.
empath and the celebrity. It'll be fine. It has a response. It's okay.
And so it's you have to know your kids. You
Right. Pay
know
attention.
right. And that's all it takes. Like people always say I'm such a great mom, and I'm like, no, I just look at them as people. I
Right.
like to try to
You've
They're
been humbled
people.
and humanized.
yeah, yeah.
That so and that's the one thing that was like beautiful for me was like, all right, after all is said and done, I still have these little babies I gotta raise. I
Mm-hmm.
got these, and I have to now not only teach them, but I have to learn from them as well. Because how I was taught was very um rigid, very, and it's, let's take
It was
the
rigid,
trauma
but
of it off.
thick. And
Hmm?
that's where our trauma came from, I think, as a generation. It was rigid as fuck, but it was also very cryptic and vague.
And that's why a lot of
Those are parables.
no, and exactly, and that's
Right.
they if they
That's
if they if they um were done in love, then yeah, I would say they'd be parabolic. But a
Mm.
lot of things were not done of love. It was done of a lot of trauma and addiction.
I don't
You know
think
what I mean? Where they meant well and they just didn't do right.
I don't think the trauma or addiction actually played too much of a part of it, bro. It's the epigenetics of it all.
Shit.
We are the last generation catching slave mentality, like true slave mentality. Beat them till they fucking submit. We're the last generation to get that.
Right. And at the same point, we're one of those generation that did not know how to let the fuck go. It's and I'm not gonna judge anybody because coming from my lens of how I view my dynamic between my mother and father and myself, I have no right to judge anybody.
Right.
But at 40, not but with that said, it does give me a little bit of a cause for pause when you're my age, even older, calling your father daddy and your mother mommy.
Nah, bro.
It,
You go too far. I call my
wait a
mommy.
minute.
Right. I call my mommy.
Mommy's mommy still.
again, I'm not judging nobody because again, my mom ain't even here. If I could go back, I don't know what I would call her, but
Yeah.
I do. But what I will say is that at this age in my life, I had a very early and a cold separation, and it never went back to that place where I was like, okay, I don't have that. So I see this man as a man who is a part of my existence. No shape of my experiences on how I'm journeying my life now, but I've cleaved from him a long time ago. I don't depend on that man for nothing. He was in my life my whole life, as I've known him to be, but I don't, whatever I've learned, I can attribute to a lot other than him.
Right.
But it doesn't make him a bad man. My compassion is the fact that, hey, where my issues came from, as I've studied, are very male dominant. And then I look at how he responds to things and how he reacts to things. And I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And rather than go back to the barbaric nature that led us to this discourse, I provide a different rigid regiment, which for him, he's never really experienced. And I'm learning on my own. It's called love. Even if it's very far away, it's something that provides a different set of skills, man. I would say that this past 5, 6, 7 years was probably the hardest, exhaustingly, exercisingly, whatever. I deserve rest after what I've grown to learn in these past 7 years. It's been a long marathon to really learn things and be able to say, hey, I have to learn it, characterize it, and integrate it, and then teach it at the same aspect.
Agreed.
You know, but I attribute that, and this is something I give praise to my father for. I'm the Black MacGyver because of my father. I don't like to multitask. If I have to focus on multitasking, I'm going to fuck something up.
So,
but I naturally can get a lot of shit done at once.
In the earlier stages of what you were saying, you had mentioned being neurodivergent. And I do feel like a lot of that neurodivergence stems from this idea that we are forced to say, my dad is a great dad, but a horrible husband, and still yet a good man.
Yeah.
That type of compartmentalization will make a brain split.
Oh, that drove me to drink.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I do feel like when we talking about mental health, people don't talk about the idea of what we're really talking about here. Like the thought process is being affected in such a way because of the way we are being handled. You know, from birth on down. Like there is this idea, like, okay, I try not to do too much of like the blame game.
Sure.
Things of that nature. But there's this idea now that the children are getting autism from the vaccines. I've never believed this. And yet it's a very prevalent thing. And I do question which vaccines my kids get. I will say that. But I found a video from this doctor, and I want to get y'all's opinion on it because this has been a widely spread alleged myth. I don't even know how to say that for real. Like it's a myth, but we know it's true, but it's not true. So I don't even know, but I'm finna share it. So
theory.
Thank you.
Gotcha. You didn't even see me wink. The dark ass light.
Look, I sure did, but that's okay. I got you. Look, I had to take mine off. I couldn't see nothing.
Vaccines don't cause autism, and I will prove it. Challenge accepted. See, the only proof that has ever come up of any associated vaccines and autism comes back from 1998, where a single study done with 12 children posed a possible causation between the MMR vaccine and the development of autism. And that study was full of problems. First of all, 8 of the 12 kids either didn't have autism or already had those signs and symptoms before they got the vaccine. Secondly, 10 of the 13 authors published a paper fully retracting their interpretation of that study. And the whole study was planned and funded by people involved in an active lawsuit. Very small sample size, corrupt scientists, questionable funding. But in response, tons of studies have been done looking at the development of autism and its correlation or possible causation with vaccines. And guess what? And the only thing that rings true across all these studies, the absence of correlation or causation of vaccines with autism.
I don't find anything wrong with it. However, is not the I'll say it like this. It's not the natural thing that's the issue. It's the synthetic thing that you encapsulate the natural thing to put in us that's the issue. So if you want to give me ketchup, not sodium benzoate and monotheocleaminate and the 12 tribes of whatever in the fucking Bible and you Melchizedek, whatever it is, in order to make it be what it is. Just give me fucking
ketchup, nigga. I don't need monotheocleaminate.
You see what I'm saying?
12
so
tribes.
All that other shit is you heard me say this, and everybody says, "Oh, that don't make no sense." It makes sense to a motherfucker like me. Don't give me salt and call it chicken. That right there is giving me salt and calling it chicken. Like, this is orange juice. If I look on the back of this, it says orange water. If I look on Everfresh or whatever, it's going to have tons of shit that I can't even pronounce.
Right.
That's the shit that fucks with you. So you can skate around truth with facts all you want. But the very moment that you have to give me ingredients to fucking water, that's a fucking problem.
It's ingredients
for water. There's ingredients in water.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I have a problem with. Don't tell me that this is water and I know that fluoride is bad for my existence. And then on the back of the water, it says fluoride. No, bitch, that's not water. It has water content in it.
Why the fuck is there rock salt and baking soda? I'm disturbed. I drink this shit all the time.
Dasani had to change their entire shit because they found that, okay, how does a clear substance have red dye number 5?
I'm disturbed, bro. Like, this shit says purified water. So the label states purified drinking water with flavor enhancing minerals.
So it's not water.
Ingredients: purified water, calcium chloride, which is the rock salt you put on your goddamn driveway, and sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. I got baking soda. So
I digress. That's just That's just my thought.
It's the vaccines giving people autism. You got ingredients in the water.
It's not the vaccine. It's what you're encapsulating around the vaccine. Like you can't tell me to ingest plastic to get the nutrients for a vitamin and not think that the plastic isn't going to disseminate into fucking something. Nope. The fuck? Am I the only one that ever thought about that? Once it dissolves, where's it go?
Crazy your body. I thought about it with the laundry pods. Like I didn't want that shit in my clothes. And I never thought about it with cat pills. I never fucking thought about that.
Those are the type of ingredients that make the water soft, which cuts the bitter taste and allows you to swallow it quickly.
Now, some of it is natural dissolvent, which is just naturally biodegradable, which is okay.
Yeah.
But most of that shit that's mass produced that you can find in like your local pharmacy, like that shit ain't good for you.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Not in
Like
the
you got a whole thing of plastic, right? It's been processed in heat. Ready? Why this disorder sustains? Not that why it exists, but why it sustains and is
Mhm.
easily carried on, right?
Right.
To tell somebody that plastic is bad for you is like, oh, what the fuck do you know? Well, no more than I can tell you to stop cooking my shit on aluminum,
Is that
whatever.
fucking response though? Like I'm
Oh,
done
it
with
always
this.
is.
I'm done with
Like, I don't really fuck with pork. Huh? Who you think you are? Well, bitch, you raised me fucking half Jewish. What the hell?
Mm.
Like, now you mad at me for
Sure.
picking a side. Like, I'm sorry.
sheesh. Right.
Choose the struggle.
Anyway, right. But now we look at plastic, right? Most of the shit that's processed and is broken down has to be dehydrated or pulled at an extreme heat.
Hmm.
Then you take that content, knowing that it's not supposed to go in plastic, which is bad on all accounts, and then you seal it tight,
Mm.
Hmm.
and then you mass produce it.
Right.
Right.
That part. I don't.
I'm sorry, like I'm affected by it, but I just don't choose to carry it on.
I love how we always have these conversations about like when people talk about the idea of the distraction. You know what I'm saying? Charlie Kirk is a distraction. So that nigga got shot in the throat to distract you. What you're not that important. Like, first of all, let's start there, right? But we're talking about autism and people who don't even know what autism really is or what the spectrum looks like. Or okay, so for those of y'all who don't understand the word spectrum, it's not just your cable provider, right? When you was in like the fourth grade in math class and they used to make you draw timelines, remember the line that went this way with all the little,
Mm-hmm.
that's a spectrum. That's how broad this idea of autism could be. I
Right.
oftentimes joke around and say foul shit like, at least back when we was in school, they had a separate class. So we knew who not to fuck with once we got grown.
Mm-hmm.
But people get mad at me for saying things like this, but I do feel like autism is not necessarily a physical thing. It's an environment thing. I think you said that before as well, William. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are times when the environment is so filthy. I can't even think of another word like filthy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. And I hear what you're saying, Tay, because yeah, we do have a lot of experiments that was performed on us, so we don't necessarily know what all of the side effects from those things are.
I thought the
And
United States was the experimental type, where all experiments can be processed.
and that's where it gets interesting because again, I'm one of the first in my family to be diagnosed. I just so happen to be bored and kind of look into some shit and learn certain patterns of behavior. And again, if you start to look at some small signs, you just be like, hmm,
For me,
okay, okay.
for me and my experience with my family, I'm the youngest of all of my elder siblings.
Hmm.
I had never seen this before, what I saw in my child and my family, which is why it was so, it, not I don't want to call it detrimental, but it definitely impacted me at a point where I need to understand this better. Like, I don't
Hmm.
get it, so you break this down. And even upon after evaluation and all that stuff, I then took up some things. like developmental delay, the autism spectrum, neuroscience, and how the brain actually works, just so that I could be a better mother and I could learn how
Mm-hmm.
to teach, how to get him to understand. I started working, I hustled from home, and he didn't start actual regular mainstream school till he was about 10 years old. But by the time that he did that, he was ready for whatever it was that he was about to face. He was capable of handling it, and he then started school. But it took a moment for me to understand how his mind actually works. I also learned some very incredible other things like don't say numbers in a progression in any repetitive nature
Mm.
because not only will he remember, but he will use it. How did I learn that? He took a credit card and ended up buying a couple of videos and movies so he could watch all kinds of things.
Y'all
I was
know
like,
how
I
many
said,
credit
don't
card
say
numbers I
numbers.
remember? It is in fucking insane. Cell phone numbers, pin numbers, fucking locker numbers, old telephone numbers that I don't put them around me. Let's leave.
Right.
Get them away.
If you if you say it 17 times, it's recorded like a permanent memory. There's no
Mm-hmm.
pulling it out, right? Now go back a little bit, and my son was 5. He wanted to watch the Cars movie, and a couple of roommates who would call and
Holy
you
shit.
know let's see what's going on. They would set up little videos and things. They're calling in to make sure their payment went through. They updating their social security and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
quite literally, if I say, what's his 9-digit number? Oh, his number is la 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 la.
You
And if I
motherfucker,
ask
right?
him right now, if I call him in here and go, what's mommy's social security number? He's gonna rattle that off and it's gonna
Do, do, do,
disturb
do,
you.
do, do,
If
do,
I
do, do.
say, what's mommy's ID number? What is mommy's card number? The one that's blue. He's about to tell you, and my PIN number,
Mhm.
and the address associated, and how many different PINs I had over the past 5 years.
I
He
ain't
will
gonna remember
rattle
your
it off.
motherfucking name though. I'm not gonna
Foolishness.
remember your name for shit.
No, but that's how it goes. And see, it's weird
But
too because in this community, as a parent, if you care, you learn. Like that's first and foremost. But the reality of it is, a lot of parents don't get to know that their child is autistic until adulthood because they're never diagnosed.
right,
Based on the fact that they are smart. My
Right.
autistic child is also tested numbers a genius.
Mm-hmm.
right,
She graduated valedictorian from her class,
right.
but she cannot figure out how to keep a schedule properly. If I was to try to
Exactly.
put her on the city bus to go somewhere, I would have to go and find her for real.
Right.
Okay.
That ability to determine the time sense is all kinds of out of whack. All the other stuff works just fine. And if I sat before my son the blueprints for a building, he could put that together with a few popsicle sticks and some gum and destroy life. Like better than any contractor you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
If you
This
said to
wasn't.
him, this is the equation, what's the answer? He's about to give you the answer in about 3 to 4 seconds, and not anywhere in that depiction of what he's writing on the paper will you ever figure out how he got there. But it will be right
Mm.
every single time. He had AP math classes, AP science courses the whole time through middle school and high school on GP. Just he just walks. I try to teach him, but he just hops to the end. There's nothing I can do. I can't really teach him. We need to put him in AP classes. He's very bored. If I go past 10 or 15 minutes, he wants me to stop because why do I keep talking? That was the response from the teachers. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine, put him in some AP classes. Obviously, he's very bored, and he was bored.
Yep.
I
But see,
find
here's
this
where
question interesting.
okay.
I knew that you had changed the banner, but I wanted to go back to this. It's a serious question for the panel. Speaking on this topic, what parts of yourself have you learned to hide so well that even people who advocate for autism wouldn't recognize them? And do you ever worry that being accepted still comes with conditions you're expected to meet? That
Great
I
question.
was gonna let that kind of slide but then that second part is the one that kind of got me. Um, who was the answer?
Me, I'll go first. In my initial process of things that I learned made people feel nervous, I was raised in a household that was spiritually strong and psychologically disturbing all at the same time. So my being weird made people afraid. And I learned to use that to edge my way. Even whether you like it or not, I'm still going to do it. So it was not something that I initially needed to hide because once people realized that they don't know what to do with me or what my quirks are, there was no hiding. However, I am the youngest of a bunch of siblings, and I did watch them go through parts of themselves where they tried to put it away. Like I'm not that.
Mm,
That's not me. Even though they were brilliant. Like one of my brothers, he has several psychological degrees, and if you talk to him today, he's gonna act like, yeah, I can put together a car, I know how to fix a house. But if you sit and have a conversation with him, he's going to be so quiet. And in between that, he's ready to give you the full diagnosis because not only did he encompass all of that knowledge, but not, he read you, he understood you, he pulled it apart, put it back together. He knows exactly which direction you need to go, not just for you, for your healing, but for your growth. And it's so crazy why you would hide that. What would possess you to put that away? But having watched them, what am I hiding it for? That is how I learned not to hide it. But did I see it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's one
it,
of the things that allows me to, with several children who are on so many, I mean, I'm not even going to call my children night and day, but every single one of them is so different. Be you, all of you, 110%, 10 toes down. It matters. It really does. Your
Yeah.
choices, your move, how you feel about it, all of that. You don't have to hide it. There are doesn't have to be any secrets. I'm so open to it that no matter what you tell me, my first response is never going to be anger or surprise. I'm so excited that you would come and tell it to me. Let's figure
Fantastic.
out how we can make this work for you.
You
end
are
of the day.
a person. No, you are a fantastic person because I've warned my children that my response may not be great, but I'm gonna be there for you through it all. Like I think,
See,
because
I
sometimes
have.
I catch you
All
off.
right.
I'm going fuck.
All right,
I'm
but
The
see,
fuck?
we're different. As the youngest of my siblings, I had the benefit of watching all of the responses from all of my parents. And here's what I learned: when they respond the way that makes them feel like they shouldn't have said that, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna say that. I learned something from my father. He had the ability to. He was very much into military. He was very good into discerning and understanding even body language, how you say your words, the articulation that you use. So you really
Mm,
couldn't lie to him. He was a basic lie detector. There was no playing. So if you lied to him, he would let you. He would watch you and he would let you go through the whole spiel, give him the whole story. And then he's about to eat your story up from the beginning to the end and tell you exactly where you started to lie.
Yes.
I learned that young. So by the time I got to what did you do? I did it. I had a fight. I punched somebody in the face. I tried to rearrange them, and I'm gonna get suspended. I just wanted to let you know before the end of the day because I can't go to school tomorrow. Love
mm-hmm,
this kid. Favorite child, absolutely, but from someone else's trial and error, right?
Right.
Somebody got beat. Somebody got cursed out, spoke to like they was crazy. Why did you lie? Why did you do this? And instead, I learned, I watched, I paid attention. So lying doesn't make sense. So if I try to fabricate a part, you're gonna catch that. Fine, here's the truth. And whatever happens, happens. At least I know that I ain't have to lie. I didn't have to put on a mask. I didn't have to put on no extra shield to try to
mm,
cover. This is just what it is, and this is who I am.
mm.
Yeah, that was basically my answer to the question. The first half of the question, I don't. I feel like my toxic trait even is the idea that I'm not hiding what people would look at as autism. Like my autism is
Mhm.
on display. It's awkward as fuck for everybody. So That first part doesn't apply to me in my mind. And the second
Can you feel that?
part,
I
right.
don't know what happened with that first part, babe. But
I'm just saying.
yeah.
But
How to tell another
I
word.
oftentimes will say you can't be friends with somebody who's crazy doesn't match your crazy. I'm
Right.
I'm not friends with nobody that hurt animals or fuck little kids. Like that's not my kind of crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like I can't be friends with that type of shit. So it's just weird to me how this idea of having to hide things like, no, my memory is bad as fuck, first of all. And secondly, who the fuck are you that I'm supposed to be scared of you enough to have to lie to you? So yeah,
Hmm.
no, that's how I feel about conditions
Um,
that I'm expected to meet.
I
Agreed.
I found out that I could hide it. Um, well, let me correct that because I fucking suck at this.
Mm.
I thought I thought, or I'm gonna dare I say, I will use what I don't like to use. I felt like
Mm-mm.
I could um compound all that I felt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how I would want to react versus what I knew how to react. I tried to compound them and bury it really. Cause I always thought that I was strong enough to kind of keep a lid on it. Um so to agree with you, Kristen, I suck at it.
Mm-hmm.
I it what's the song? It's written all over your face. You don't have to say. I can literally sit here, right, and not necessarily say anything, but I'll start like my tells will start to show, and it
Mm-hmm.
don't take nothing but nothing. My eyes start twitching, like I'll start breathing, and it's not that I'm ready to say anything. It's just that I've already figured out what the fuck happened, and
Mm.
I'm now completely disinterested in anything else that you have to say.
Everything else that you have to say.
All of it.
And at that point,
All of it.
my brain has completely like warped somewhere else. It's like, all right, what else can I hyper focus on?
We're gonna
And
change the position on that shit. All of it, whatever else you have to say is uninteresting.
it could be like a gnat, or it could be like literally something 7 blocks away. That I'm like, I
Hilarious.
I'm being dead serious. But what I do know, before I was like, you know what, this is just kind of a part of just who I am. I would compound a lot of how I felt, how I viewed things, how I saw things, because I felt like nobody really cared about it. They didn't really give a fuck. And
Right.
the reason why majority before people start feeling bad is because deep down I didn't give a fuck.
Right.
I really didn't give a fuck. So I thought everybody was like that.
Yeah.
I knew, like I
Mm.
said, I knew I was different. But generally, how I was raised is that they didn't give a fuck. How you felt, it really didn't matter. So I thought that that was just something that was just, you didn't give a fuck.
But that's what
But
I said earlier. Don't y'all think that there should be some? Okay, so I feel like instead of like the highest form of trigger fucking in the 12th grade,
mm,
why don't we have like financial literacy classes in the 12th grade and
well, to
emotional
give,
management classes in the 12th? You know what I'm saying? Like what?
well, we live in a society to where it's capitalist and I very much opportunistic. And if you decide to say, okay, I'm going to teach everybody how to do the same thing, then you are now leveling the playing field, which means that these people are going to have to actually owe what it is that they owe. And we're going to have to now learn how to deal with what it is that we're owed, because it ain't all money.
So is autism a class issue more so than a mental health issue at this point?
No, no, it's always going to be a mental health issue.
I have a
However,
question.
we live in we live in a system to where, okay, part of what autism is being able to, as many logistical people are, that they say, oh, I'm well balanced and logistical people. There are some people that are just like, I'm just kind of like artsy fart and I'm here to make things beautiful.
Right.
And you can't make me logistical because I'm not logistical. Otherwise, I'm going to reach a level where we're all going to be banging our heads.
Mm-hmm.
So there, everybody in the, and to classify, because
By the
this
way,
normal system, and I think you and I, Kristen, talked about it. Like when you're in the hood and you're brought up like in a less than normal circumstances, lacking resources, you have lack of education, lack of books, lack of funding, lack of groceries, lack of all these things. What do you have to go off of? So when you take that same person who's now normalized that circumstance and has now conditioned a level of understanding in that circumstance, then you put them in a circumstance that's life filled and possibly favorable to them.
right.
They are going to, it's going to be different how they respond. And most people will try to label them as autistic. And they're not autistic. They're just in a different level of, I've never breathed this type of air before. It's different from me. I'm learning it. I've been sheltered.
I mean, if that's the case, then a lot of the racism is autism too. So
Hell yeah, it is.
yeah.
You ever heard some of the motherfuckers say some of the shit they say?
Oh my God, yo. And then it was like almost instant karma. I just seen this video the other day. Some Mexican lady walking down the street, taking a video of her baby in the stroller. They walking down the street. This white bitch walks by and says, I will kill your infant. Fuck you, go back to Mexico. And then walks away, like tries to run from her into the street and almost got hit by a bus. Like,
what in you has you that angry to where you're exacerbating your anger on a person that did not even commit the crime?
can I ask this question too, though? Because we're talking about autism in adults, right?
Sure.
How much of what we're seeing as autism is drugs?
The masking of it.
How much of what we're seeing in autism is just human evolution?
Mm.
That the masking of it is sustainable. You
Because
know, go ahead.
if you take those, what we call triggers, and what we would call language abnormalities, and what we would call emotional deficits, those are the personalities of all the people with the money. They don't care. They're straight to the point, and they don't have no problem exacting clear cut decisions. There's nothing involved.
Mhm.
If I send my son outside to do something, whatever that is, in his thought process, he's going to make a thought. All right, I got to do X, Y, and Z, right? But he's going to get to that equation at the end way before anybody else. This is what I have to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is how fast I'm going to do it. Zero, anything in between. If you ask him a question, same parallel. This is what it looks like. As a matter of fact, he was just in a play and he pretended to be the pastor. And feelings got hurt right after he exposed exactly how he sees it.
Mm.
Giggles. Sheesh. It was like, oh, is that what you think? And then it was first, it was, oh, why do you think that? Because it's what it is.
Mm.
Well, is that what you seen? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is. After all of the hoopla, the wool, all that stuff behind the veil, la 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 la. This is what it is. This is all that you're doing. This is all that I'm seeing. This is all that you're actually giving.
Right.
And that for me, when you deal with the emotional compound of it all, like we can introduce it, and it's not going to be in language. I think Tay wrote it. Michelle Shantae, for those who are in the comments. Um, her daughter, who doesn't much subscribe to the feelings of it all, it's kind of like, it's not that you're above feelings, it's just that it's something that it's like a low hanging fruit type of thing. Like, I'll get to that feeling when I get to it. Right now, there's more important things that are of my interest or
Mhm.
of my focus,
Right. It
or like
definitely
may
isn't in the
actually allow
forefront.
me to sustain in my own
Right.
life. And what ends up happening with a lot of people in world is that everybody wants everybody to be the same way. Like, you'd expect
Right.
everybody that comes into your society to be
Mm.
left-handed or
Jeez.
left-footed, or you know what I mean. But I look at my way of thinking is like, okay, if I have a bunch of people around me, I would much rather configure a Voltron than have a bunch of left-footed lions. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
We
Right.
can't
But
all lay down.
if you ever look at history, and I actually took a good look, most of the leaders that have autism.
Mhm.
Most of
Hmm.
the pioneers in music that and you so love, that didn't have their questions answered. Some of them are no longer with us anymore and can't really answer for themselves. They had autism. Some of
Yeah.
them that were rightfully admitting to autism, y'all really didn't care because you bastardized their gift and ignored what they were going through. And that question kind of hit home for me. Why? How can you sit down and um, necessarily people not know when it's like kind of written everywhere? It's
Mhm.
because a lot of people with autism are super gifted, and you'd much rather use their gift than get to know the person.
Right.
And that
You'd
person
rather
can't
prosecute
grow.
it
How
than
that
value it.
person decides to grow, and when it gets tricky is when you accept this person until how you don't accept this person impacts you. And
Mhm.
now all of a sudden you label this person, and then you treat this person how you label them, rather than saying, okay, just like I have a propensity to grow and become something better, but this is normally when people quit and they stop getting to know me based on an area that might be a little bit tough,
But see, this is where I call
you
that
know?
Oscar the Grouch syndrome. Like this is
Yeah.
where we're so programmed to look at a certain thing a certain way, as opposed to trying to understand that Oscar the Grouch got a whole world in that motherfucking trash can.
Right.
Yeah.
And y'all nigga, he made 3 movies by himself. Y'all niggas don't know what Oscar got going on for real, but y'all, oh, he the Grouch. We don't fuck with Oscar for.
Right.
Right.
That's the idea that I see when it comes to autism. I think that you touched on something earlier, Lovey, in the idea that this is. I hate the word disability. It's crazy. It's the same idea in my mind. When people say crazy, I know that they are dismissive, which means that I don't mean anything to them.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? This is another
Yeah.
of those things. Like, I really truly hope that with people bringing more awareness to how this looks in our community, we can
Agree.
understanding that talent and autism go hand in hand. Trauma
Hmm.
and talent and autism,
Trauma and talent go together.
right? Um, and I think that just how do I want to say? I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my words because
You do.
I have to often remind myself not to talk as though I'm not from. I come from a time before politically correct was a phrase.
Right.
And so
I feel like be yourself and say it exactly how it comes out.
So
Curt, blunt, honest. Come on, give it to me.
used to call retarded, right? All of this shit
Right.
used to be a medical diagnosis of being physically or mentally retarded. That was
Right.
the diagnosis. This was all of it. And it just, I get caught up trying not to say the bad words because who knows what the fuck the bad words is tomorrow.
Right. Shut up! Stop that laughing!
You fucking turtle. Don't send me to jail. Sorry.
Right.
Put you in.
Last nigga, ass cargo ass bitch. Listen.
Sheesh.
You know, everybody got a little something in them. There was a question earlier. There it goes. Primo says if society suddenly stopped asking autistic people to adopt to neurotypical norms, what uncomfortable truths would neurotypical people have to face about their own communication, emotional honesty, and tolerance for a difference?
The fact of that entire statement is that they would have to face the truth. Because one of the things that is different between the person who is autistic and the person with all of their fucking excuses is that there is nothing in between to stop you. And that's one of the things about my son that I love, that there's no stopping that in between. There's no, I was upset, so I didn't.
Right.
I didn't like the way they looked at me, so I didn't. I don't like what they said, so I didn't. I don't like the way the light flashed, and so I didn't. There were no excuses in between start and finish. There was just, hey, we got a job to do. We're about to do it. How can I help you get to point A to point Z? What are we
Hey,
doing here?
hey, y'all see this question right here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I I hope you saw a lot of commercials.
Look.
Look, people like to sit in their bullshit. And that's that point in between that an autistic person doesn't even access. They don't have that moment to sit in that bullshit. The
Right.
excuses of it all. The I'ma lay here on the side and help someone comes along with their hand to help me up. There's none of that.
I've been around a lot of movies, a lot of commercials, a lot of a lot of theme songs.
Go ahead,
If I
dude.
if I gotta communicate with you in a way that's you gonna get a lot of theme songs, a lot of excerpts from movies, man, and you better watch Django. I promise you.
You better.
And
Look,
see, this is where it gets funny for me because it's like, okay,
Why
they
is
would
you
really
scared?
have to, they would
Scary.
scary.
sorry, they would just have to learn that they're neurodivergent as well. Nobody's neurotypical.
Nope.
No.
Nobody's neurotypical. Like that's what normal is that everybody is uniquely their own brand of retarded. And it's
Do you
okay.
know what this reminds me of?
It's okay. Huh?
You know what this reminds me of?
What's up?
Every mutant movie and video and TV show.
Word.
It's like for me, it's like, all right, bet. I think that there is an appropriate standard of how we can say you're okay for society or mm, and sometimes you don't know. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. But there is a standard to be like, mm, but here's what happens: are when people over empathize with a certain plot of a story, then you get to be like, okay, I get to victimize the entire frame of the person. Like,
Right.
no, that is not okay. No, separate the person from the behavior. Like, remember we talked about it. Like, there's a person. We love the person, their gift, and everything. They are just fucked up in how they make themselves feel better.
But why is it okay? So why is it fucked up the way
I
they
mean, fucking babies is not a great thing. I mean, you say it.
because of course I say that. Like that's not the my
No.
point, my point when I say that though is that maybe not only, let me not say it like that, not only is baby fucking babies not a good thing.
Oh! Oh! What? Ah! Ah! All right. Woo! Okay, God, I'm sorry.
But not only
Shit.
is fucking babies not a good thing,
Ah! Sorry. My bad. Every time I just. Oh! All right. Let me mute myself.
but in fact, I think we focus too much on people fucking babies, not enough on why they fuck the babies. And it's
Oh! Ugh.
no, but I'm serious because I can't. We've been laughing all night. But Merry
Ugh.
Christmas, y'all. This is look.
Merry Christmas!
Now,
Happy
for the record,
holidays.
ladies and gentlemen, I need to put a disclaimer out because clearly you see three Negroes of various melanated complexions really trying to laugh off a very serious event. I'd like to be very clear that the
Which is a
reason
part of our
why
collective.
we are all kind of humorously trying to get through this is because we, in fact, with some of the people in the comments section, we do suffer from different levels of spectrumitis or spectrumisms or whatever the case may be. And most of the things that we find common in practice is laughter through pain.
Yes.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that's something that we're trying to do in order to redirect a very serious matter.
Can I say
My
I
You know what I
goodness.
mean? So don't think
I
that we're just not taking this seriously, all like I
no,
just
yeah,
want to put this out there. We're taking this very
No, no.
seriously.
Very
However,
serious.
very
the laughter is a lot of people's way of masking the pain.
and see, it's funny to me because I think the Joker movie that everybody hated, like everybody hated the Joker. I really liked the Joker
I
movie.
love that movie.
The laughter was the reason and not the result. All the other Jokers before this Joker, the laughter was the result of his PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
The laughter was the PTSD with this new Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Like they did that shit
Yeah.
well. In
Right.
my,
I like the psychological delve into a different portion. That part that we didn't see. We just assumed that it was darkness and we didn't assign anything to it except, oh, he just wants to see the world burn.
right. But you mentioned like mutant shows earlier, Boo. Like, first of all,
Yeah.
my autism kicked in when you said it because immediately the 1994 version of the X-Men theme song started playing in my
Listen, listen. You get my nerves.
yo.
when
But
when after
this is
all those classes, right? And all of those moments where I was like, all right, I know y'all supposed to have a community here, but I'm really here just to understand how this works in the mind because I'm trying to mother. I'm
right,
not trying to hold hands and be like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Because fuck that, we gotta get to the meat and the potatoes of this so I can help,
right,
right?
right.
At that point, I'm like, all right, so what we doing here?
Hmm.
And in that progression, it was like, what you mean? No, we gotta sit in this. No, bitch, I sat in it. I sat in it. And
Hmm.
now we need progression. What now are we doing? I need to understand how it works so that when I say, you know, 1 plus 2 equals whatever,
Right,
he's gonna catch it. How many times do I need to say that before he gonna get it? If I'm saying to him, this is red, this is blue, this is green, which is, a little bit yellow, a little bit blue, I need for him to catch that. And how do I teach that to him to make it stick? Because at some point he's gonna have to step outside. And if I'm not here, he's gonna need to stand on that, whatever that is.
right.
Whether somebody's gonna label that weird, eclectic, retarded, autistic, neurodivergent, whatever they're going to call it. As
Mhm.
a mother, I still got to raise him in the knowledge of what, who, and how he is to the best of my ability. Because the truth of the matter is, somebody's going to come along and say some shit that I've heard. Like, I can't teach him because he doesn't learn like the other students. I don't know what to do. And
Mhm.
I had to take off 10 days so I could sit in the classroom and teach the teacher how to teach my child. He needs you to just show it to him one, two good times. After that, let that rip because he didn't need that more than once. You talking him through it and trying to get him to hear what you're saying, bullshit. The second that you write that down so he can look at it, he's already decided how it ends and he's made his decision. That's it.
Right.
And that's different than 22, 26, 30 other children who are taught that this is how it is, this is how you're taught, this is how you learn. He's going to write the equation a way that you can't understand. The children are going to show their work and it's going to be line for line. My son is going to write the first part in a square, the second part in a circle, and the answer in the middle, like a mosaic, and he's going to be accurate every fucking single time. And there's no way for me to teach you that that's how it's going to come. That's what you're going to have to accept. And even though 95% of the other children who are doing it different, he still got to the right answer.
I would definitely say I was steady talking, and I was like, "Motherfucker, muted." But I would say one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older and more mature in certain areas, still growing, of course, is
Mhm.
that uh is that there has to be some sort of reasoning. Like I have part of a response of mine is that I'm impulsive.
Right.
Um and part of and it's not that it's not that I can't control it. It's just the fact that I choose to do it. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm upset, I want to feel better. This is going to
All
make me
right.
feel better. Let's just
Could
do it.
depending on the fact that you said you choose to do it though.
Mhm.
Okay. Because go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because
Right.
it's some of it. I think the autistic part of things in my mind is not a choice
Well, no, no.
that
And
we
here's the thing.
do.
Here's the As you grow, you start to separate, okay, my before I understood what was going on, it was not a choice. I it was just rapid response
Right.
survival type of. However, again, I'm only speaking from the not, I wouldn't say the originators, but kind of the founders of the study,
Mhm.
to where, all right, we find out what's wrong, and now let's begin to not fix it, but let's grow it.
How
We
do you
found out. Go ahead.
mass produce a cure for
You
something
don't.
that's different for
You
every
do not.
individual?
You do
There's
not
no
mass produce.
cure.
There's no mass production of something that there's not an illness. Autism, and I'm going to be very clear for folk out here. Autism is not an illness. Some of the results that come with autism can cause illnesses, but autism in and of itself is not an illness. It is a can you describe it as an abnormality to make you feel a little bit better? Yeah. But
It's
to quantify it,
Anything that isn't sheep and doesn't go along with
but
the
to
norm is a
quantify it
disability.
is really, as an illness, is really
so I've come to believe
is
that
destroying.
people's diagnoses are their superpowers for real. Like I am a firm believer in the idea that they use these things against us that are actually there within our psyche to help us. But
Bipolar.
from
Like,
like you can see things from both angles. You would probably be a great judge if they stopped telling you that your bipolar was bad. You see what I'm
right. That's
like?
what I was about to get
Yeah.
into. Like, for
Mhm.
me, is being able to experience what I've experienced and fairly assess what a better choice can be.
Mm-hmm.
That's
However,
you as a
that
mutant.
doesn't allow me to cast this because again, most people that I know who are on the spectrum are highly principled. They
Hmm.
have very strong intentional reasons as to why they do what they do. It's
Hmm.
not the responsibility. However, if you are human and you have a sense of moderate empathy, sympathy, and a sprinkle of compassion,
Right.
listen to to why a person does the small things that they do, and it'll make sense of why the greater things become what they are.
Right.
Like it's simple. Most people want to sit down and say, I want to take all of a person at once.
Hmm.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
It's just not
Because
just
one day I could be here, and the next day I could be over here, same person, but a whole separate, different set of experiences that I'm facing.
and God damn it, that one experience that day changes you. And no,
Mm,
like you're looking around now like you just went to a new timeline because shit is fucked up over here. Like, I don't know. It's weird to me.
like for me, it's not weird. It's like, okay, one. I guess the abridgment to I get you've boxed and
Mhm.
I ran track and also have done some train fighting, but never professional or in a scope to even become anything more than a protector. Um, but consider you had a coach, right?
Nigga, you took karate.
No,
And
I
I
didn't take. I never
sharpshooter
took
school.
karate. For the
Sharpshooter
record,
school.
golly, never
Aren't
took
we all
karate.
different?
See how
They're
all
all very different,
We're
look this
all very different.
super different.
I'm out.
Never
I'm
took
sorry.
karate. No, no. But to the point though,
I'm
right?
sorry.
You have a coach or you have a trainer, you have a sensei. They're teaching you, right? They're teaching you what they know, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't it would be kind of like cynical or sinister rather, if a coach made it to like a mastery level and then dumped all of their mastery level information onto an elementary student.
Right.
It'll be
Right.
horrible to do that. Moderation is what we learn, right?
True.
What neurodivergence has it what it does is it we have to learn that moderation is something that's super important because most people who are neurodivergent don't find moderation to be very important, which
It's
is why go ahead.
I'm just being bratty. It's not.
No, it is, and it's not. It no moderation is very important. It's and it's not that um we don't know, but part of our sensory is we're numb to some of the things that should be balanced, which is why we're so rigid in other areas.
Right.
So principled in certain areas. How because it's not that we're weak in the other areas. It's like literally our asses out.
Mhm.
Like most people who have gluttony issues, if you ask them certain questions, you'll be like, oh shit, they got the same spectrum level. However, they face something different. Their
Yeah,
experience has,
it comes from
I
our,
have a hypothesis.
you
you
know
know,
what I mean?
the spectrum itself comes based on our experiences, not on the actual milestones that.
Right.
And so, yeah, we're all having a different problem, but it's based on the same trauma because our experience got us that trauma.
Right. So my point to that to say is like, okay, um, we have to be able to identify now primary colors. Let's just put it that way. Primary colors. A coach is telling you that this is red. And a good coach, let's put it that way, can say, okay, I understand that you see red as rose because red and rose are different colors to a good coach. They can identify that, okay, there's a lighter palette that they see, which is why regular blue might be a little bit lighter or green might be a little bit. They're well aware of what's going on. So they're able to now build off of what they know. However, what people don't do is consider that where I may see green, you may see lime green. And what
Mm,
ends up happening is we're arguing over the same factor. However, nobody has put a standard in front of us to say, number one, this is relevantly what it is. Number two, it really doesn't, it's not that important.
right.
It is not in the grand scheme of things. However, what is important is how you're reacting and responding to it.
That part.
And that's what's important.
On that note, y'all, I want y'all, everybody, to be able to enjoy your families this holiday season.
Hmm.
Be safe, be responsible for yourself and others. Understand that our community suffers more based on lying about tradition and avoiding the reality of mental health issues. Every day we struggle. And so I just want this holiday season, whichever holidays you celebrate in these next couple of months, to let y'all understand that there is, in fact, help. You don't have to do these things alone. You don't have to feel weird because you don't think like the next person. You don't have to walk through the dark on what it is you're going through because we all struggle with something. As much as we talk our shit over here, because if that's the type of friend you need, that's the type of friend I am. Right? This is also a safe space. You can come fly your weird flag here. Chestnut Checkers loves you, and we want to wish you the merriest of Saturnales. Have a good
Anybody else want to say anything, or you redirected a motherfucking symphony? Like, wait a minute, I was like, she
yeah.
can't talk.
I have two things that I just want to say to everyone, and it goes in tangent with what Boo just said. Everything cannot be first and foremost about difference and shame. Difference does
So
not
sorry.
mean shame.
That's
Difference does not mean abstract. It does not mean wrong. How we absorb, how we portray, how we react is not a defect. It's not an abnormality. In some ways, if you exchange this with a mutant capability, then you are extraordinary. You are amazing. You are evolved. You are new. You are literal perfection. Happy holidays, love. And with that mentality, if we put aside the mess, right? And we stop thinking that there's got to be something wrong if it doesn't match what this letter says, if it doesn't match what this study says, if it doesn't match what these people are saying, then there's something super wrong with it. It may be different, yes, but that doesn't make it wrong. That doesn't mean that you've got to be ashamed. That doesn't mean that you've got to sweep you, your child, the situation, or their mental capacity or capability under the rug and feel like you are less than because of it.
right.
Here's something that I learned as a nugget as a mother with an autistic child. He is one of the greatest loves that I've ever been gifted with. He is literally the walking truth of my past, my present, and my future. And he daily shows me that it's okay to stand in that truth, that difference, that miraculous move. and that perfect imperfection.
Facts.
And that right there, that's more life than anyone has ever breathed into me. Take that nugget, eat that, sit in that, respect that, and stop looking at it like it's a defect and it's wrong. I'm not saying don't claim a few things so you can, make a couple of finances. I'm not saying that. But stop looking at your children like they're the bane of your existence because they're not the same. See that as the evolution of the you that you would be if you would stop letting outside distractions move and stop you from getting to your destiny. Because that is exactly what that is. Harness that, grow that, believe in that, breathe life into that. Be transformed.
We are chestnut checkers, y'all. As we go into this holiday, they didn't spoke. Listen, the ladies didn't spoke. They said what they had to say. If I could leave with any thought, begin to ask yourself the questions of matter. Am I okay? Can I pinpoint what is okay, what's not okay, and do I have the supporting cast around me to bring me to a life of better understanding, not to an abridgment of death? We want to see you guys tomorrow. We want to see you the next moment. If nobody told you this season that you're loved, I can say it. I love you. And I mean it. We here at Chestnut Checkers, we love you. I pray for forgiveness for everybody here. Everybody who's going through loss. I pray for understanding through this horrible time. Grief is a tragic thing, and it's something that we all have to inevitably go through. What I do pray is that you surround yourself with love. Don't feel like your loss means that you lost everybody. If anything, you gained more of a family with Chestnut Checkers. We're here to support. We're here to grow. We're here to love. We're here to communicate, and we're here to really say hello and inevitably say goodbye.
Right.
Right.
And we believe
That's
that the
right.
well wishes on your journey are for greater things, for a greater understanding, for a betterment, and whatever it is that you do, we pray that you're blessed through it. That is our prayer for you, and that is our gift to you through Chestnut Checkers. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We have the beautiful Kristen Raresons Wilson on the panel. We have Lovey on the panel. Myself, William Alexander, on the panel. We wish you success. Happy New Year. Until we meet again.
Good night.
Listen, it might be 2026. We don't know yet.
Baby.
Ooh.